Hello everyone, it's Lucas Welch again, live from ChefConf 2015, and I'm here with Jamesha Fisher from Cloud Passage. Jamesha,
Hi.
Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to ChefConf.
Absolutely, yeah.
So before we dig into more of the technical questions, if you will, I'd like to talk a little bit about songwriting. Myself, I was a musician in a past life. And I'd like to know, how did you get into songwriting and where does your passion for it come from?
How I got into songwriting is basically through music. I come from a very musically inclined family. In fact, it's an even split of science and musical arts. I have a sister on Broadway, a brother who's a comedian. So I'm kind of the split down the middle, and I've been singing since I was young. So in the past few years, I've gotten more into instruments, and songwriting this year has been kind of my goal, along with, of course, the tech world.
Indeed, indeed. And speaking of the tech world, you're at Cloud Passage. Can you tell us a little bit about both the company and your role there?
So what Cloud Passage is we basically do cloud security. So in that frame of mind, we always strive to make sure, you know, it does align, like our security product does align well with DevOps, you know, ideal. It's automated, our agent is fast, we specialize in firewall management, software vulnerability assessment, configuration security monitoring. All these things are really important for security teams to know, as well as ops teams to be able to control and, you know, collaborate on at the same time. And so our tools allow people to do that, and to do that in a fast way. Especially with, one of the particular things I like about our product is that we also have Windows Firewall Management en masse. And that was one of the things that actually attracted me to Cloud Passage to work there, because I used to work at my previous company. I saw so many Windows virtual machines without protection or without valuable protection because people didn't either want to pay for it.
And that made you extremely nervous.
Yeah, it made me nervous, and also at the same time, it you know, gave a whole lot of troubles for the provider, because, you know, as a provider for them, DDoS attacks, vulnerabilities wide open for people to take advantage of, you know.
A lot of issues. So speaking of security, you're giving a talk today at 3:20 in the Grand Ballroom, C&D, on security. Walk me through some of your best practice guidance on security, and specifically the use of automation around security policies and guidelines.
I think the best practice would be to basically make it standardized and repeatable. I mean, one of the things that I talk about in my talk is the integrity aspect of security and how well it goes over to DevOps, because with DevOps and with automation, you can enforce policies and you can make them repeatable through cookbooks and some of the new stuff that they came out with, like the policy with the policy stuff today, and the
analytics platform,
and the audit mode that they came out with. So there's a lot of stuff to allow things to be repeatable, be enforceable, and just to standardize in that way. So that's one of the guidelines that one of the biggest guidelines that I give in my talk.
And now on the people side of things, right? You have the DevOps movement is kind of breaking down the barriers between development and operations. We're all here for the same reason, which is high quality, fast software delivery. And we got to work together to do that versus against each other. How do you bring the security folks into that conversation in a way that they can all work together?
Pretty much just by bringing them into the conversation. I mean, a whole lot of the biggest hurdles for people is that conception of, oh, security is going to slow us down, they're going to hamper us, they're going to make our jobs more difficult, and that's not the case. With DevOps, it's kind of finding a common ground, and with the same way in security, security has to, you know, do it the opposite way. They have to find that common ground, while at the same time, you know, meeting security standards and goals, and making sure not just that you check the compliance boxes, which some companies do, unfortunately, but make sure that the product that you're giving and that the infrastructure that you have is actually secure. And I think that can be helped by involving more teams in the conversation, because then you get a different perspective and be like, okay, well, maybe I should think about this in a different way, or maybe, you know, the risk that I'm thinking of that might be too high is something that we can actually mitigate by some other way using this team.
Yep.
So it's, again, just bringing them to the table and not being afraid for either parties or any party to, you know, try to do something different, try to do something new.
And now when you're talking about, you know, bringing everybody into the conversation and also the key of getting different perspectives, so you can really understand things, I'd love to know if there's maybe a couple awesome chefs in the community that you've really valued their perspective as you've come to ChefConf a couple years and obviously been a big part of the chef community.
Some big chefs. Well, one I have to point out in particular is Jennifer Davis. Jennifer Davis, she is my chef hero.
Yeah. Did you know her before she was at Chef?
No, I did not know her before she was at Chef, but she was the person to make kind of my first ChefConf amazing and awesome, and throughout that, you know, kind of bringing me into the fold in the world of that, and just the outreach that she does for different teams and women and different other groups. She's phenomenal. She's phenomenal.
Yeah. So your experience coming into the chef community, obviously through Jennifer Davis in a way, sounds like it was a really positive one. What recommendations would you have? ChefConf is growing every year. We've got over 1,500 people here today. Many of them are new to the chef community. Do you have any guidance in, you know, what they should be doing, what they should be thinking as they're coming new into this community to really get the most out of not only the show but the community as a whole?
Reach out to people. I mean, one of the things, I don't have my badge right now, but I love the ambassador program that they're contributing to this year. I mean, if you see the orange dot on a badge, go up and walk up to them, or
start a conversation.
Start a conversation. Get to talking with people. I've heard so much intelligent conversation and so much good stuff.
That's
from
awesome.
Just even the Open Summit yesterday, and even this morning talking with the guys from Nordstrom or some of the other chef folk that are around, or even some of the fellow speakers. It's just getting out there and talking to folk and not being afraid, because that's what DevOps is all about, right? You know, getting that collaboration going.
That's awesome. Well, Jamesha, thank you so much for being here and taking the time today. Again, you can catch her speaking at 3:20 today, April 1st in the Grand Ballroom C&D. Really appreciate the time. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah.